The Yeti Radio, powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. David Lee Imaging in the Titletown Music Archive and the Live 365 app.
It's alive!
The Yeti. Welcome to the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com.
Welcome, everybody. It's the YetiRadio.com and the Backstage Lounge. Tonight, live in studio, we have Elephant Gunn for an interview today, and it's going to be amazing. Stay tuned and check it out, but we're going to start off with a special premiere right here on the Yeti Radio, their next single release, and it's called The Fisherman, right here on the YetiRadio.com in the Backstage Lounge. It's the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com. And we have Elephant Gunn. Zach's not with us tonight, but we have Mike Rodriguez and Craig Merchant. And welcome, guys. Uh-oh. What? There we go. Sorry about that. That's what happens when it's live. There's always something that goes wrong, damn it.
Trial and error, baby. Trial and error.
Yeah. I've remembered to push the faders up this time, but forgot to unmute them. Usually it's the other way around. I'll unmute them and forget to turn them up. So how you guys been?
Very good.
Yeah. I've been staying busy and living the American dream.
Absolutely. Gotta love the American dream. Let's see. Let's get the questions out.
Question.
Out of the three of you, all three of you are original?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We never really had a lineup change for the most part, except like in the very, very beginning stages of the band.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say us three are probably the core of the founding kind of group. There was one other person a long time ago, but yeah, I think us three have been going strong for a really long time. I think we can kind of rewrite that history now that, this the definitive trio.
Okay. How long's Elephant Gun been around?
Like
15, something like that?
Yeah, we've been playing together about 15, no, I think maybe 14 years, playing live.
After 12, a while, it starts 13. To blur together.
So how old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay.
I'm 38.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
I believe you more than I believe you.
Oh.
No offense.
Do I look older?
No. You said 14, 15 years. I'm like, how old were you when you started this band?
He was young. He was definitely, he was the baby.
Well, I mean, I think this band, in whatever form, kind of started with me in high school with a friend of mine, and then it's kind of gone through some permutations. We've added people to it. And,
right.
Yeah, so I think the three people that are in it right now have been doing this since like 2011-ish, around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good.
2012 is when we started playing shows out. We started taking it a little more seriously. Before then, we were a bit of a garage band, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, just jam out in his mom's backyard at first.
Yeah, backyard,
Yeah.
and then she let us in the house.
Yeah, then we knew we were moving up.
Oh.
Yeah, moving up to the world. Had AC.
So, Craig, how'd you get started in music?
Oh man, that's that kind of starts with my mom. Actually, my mom, she's a singer. She doesn't sing in bands anymore, but she sang in a funk band for a really long time. She's always sang and just around the house and stuff. She's got a beautiful voice.
Beautiful voice.
Yeah, he knows. And so I kind of I would say I got my ability to play music through her, and but my taste in music I got from my dad. He was always into heavy metal, like Pantera and Rush and stuff like that. But my mom, she got me my first drum set when I was 14.
Okay.
So I've been playing drums since then. But my first band I joined, I was 18. But I was a singer then. I didn't have the confidence to play drums yet.
Okay.
So
usually it's the other way around, I would think.
Sometimes.
What can I say? I'm a walking contradiction. Okay.
Yeah. Which is great to be, because then you catch people off guard.
Exactly. I don't want to be boring, Mike.
Yeah.
God.
Let's not be like anybody else. Can't have that.
Exactly. Yeah, that was my first band just out of high school. It was called Arcadia. It's a metalcore band. After that came to an end, I moved to Tucson for school, and I was playing drums pretty much constantly at that point, so I started doing session work. I wasn't in any bands, but I played for a lot of different guys. None of them were really playing live for the most part, except for like backyard shows and stuff like that, or college parties.
Okay.
But mostly just session work, like just recording drums for their little personal projects and all that stuff. And that's kind of how I got my chops up. And it was around like I think I met you around like 2010. It was like shortly before we started jamming together, and that kind of became my once we started jamming together. That became my baby, my main focus as far as my artistic expression, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
He fell in love with me. And that's okay. I made him sad when I got married.
It's the hair. It's the hair. I mean, it's glorious.
It has its glory moments.
Hey, you could have been me in the flat top for the last 40 years. Come on.
Yeah,
but that's changing. What about you, Mike? How long you been going, and what got you started?
I would say my rap sheet's probably considerably smaller than this guy's. I definitely grew up around a lot of music. My dad was a big vinyl head, and he was always like recording. He was always like recording his vinyl collection onto like CDs and 8-track tapes for his friends and all this stuff. So I always grew up around music all the time. We had a mutual friend that I'd known since middle school, and he started playing guitar, and he kept kind of badgering me to pick it up. I think he wanted to sing, and he wanted somebody else to play guitar for him, essentially. But after a while, kind of a little later, a couple of years later, I kind of gave in, and we kind of fancied ourselves a little kind of Lennon McCartney kind of singer-songwriter duo, and we had a couple kind of versions of what Elephant Gun kind of ended up being. There's some friends in high school we would play, and I think I just always just fell in love with the creative process before I fell in love with you. Yeah. I fell in love with the creative process.
Keep telling yourself that, Mike.
Recording, just like the songcraft and all that stuff, and then really just kind of grinded on getting really good at my instrument, guitar, and then after a couple years, I kind of got a little brave, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to sing too. And so when this band initially kind of started off, I was just a guitar player. And it took a little while for me to kind of get the courage to have some confidence in my own songs that I'd written.
And a lot of harassment from myself and Zach. Yeah.
I mean, some would call it encouragement. He calls it harassment. But yeah.
Yeah, they go
just
hand in
go
hand.
hand in hand. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hand in hand a little bit. So yeah, like Zach, I met in high school, and he had left for a while, and I'll kind of tell his story a little bit since he's not here. But he had left to Nevada for a little while, and then he came back just as I met Craig over here, which was kind of serendipitous. And we decided, hey, we want to kind of nail down like a real core of this band, some really good musicians, because before then it was a lot of it was more of a hobby, and
bass players were kind of hard to come by at that time.
Bass players are hard to come by, yeah.
Especially good ones. We had one actually for a little while. It just I don't think what we were kind of going for wasn't really what he was going for. It actually worked out pretty well for him though.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think which happens from time to time.
Well, let's see. Zach says, found it. Excellent timing. Absolutely.
Late as usual, Zach.
And then he screams Elephant Gun. And then Ramona Rodriguez says,
That's my
loving it already.
That's my mom.
Yes.
Instrumental in this band, even having. I mean, she was.
This band would not be where it is today without Mona.
Yeah. My mom was so patient and gracious with us, letting us use
even when we
her home.
sucked.
Yeah, especially when we sucked. Because we mostly sucked at the beginning, which most bands kind of do in one way or another.
Well, you guys sucked. That was amazing.
Right. Anyways.
So how did you guys come up with Banana Gun for a name?
We didn't.
Elephant Gun.
Sorry.
He told us before this.
Damn it!
That
I
would
knew that
happen.
was going to happen.
Banana Gun, if
gets-
you're watching,
he gets 3 banana
we get this
guns.
all the time.
3 banana guns
I'm
before we
sorry.
walk out.
I'm sorry too. How did you come up with Elephant Gun? It was on the screen the last 2 times I said it, so it saved me. The one time it wasn't, I screwed it up. Sorry about that.
No.
This is an interesting story. It involves marijuana.
Okay.
So we were at our friend's house, all of us together, and he had this giant tube. So, and at that time we were also, none of us smoke weed anymore, but at that time we were all kind of smoking a lot. And
So you smoked it when it was illegal, and now that it's legal, you don't smoke
yeah,
it.
funny how
it took
that
all the
works
novelty out of it.
So hard to
Okay.
get back then, and now it's like so easy, and I don't want any of it.
Shit, it's
People
not
have it so
exciting
easy
anymore.
now. Just go to the store and
I
get
know,
it.
man.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Back when we were breaking the law in our
Yeah.
early 20s.
So anyway, we got the bright idea to turn this like 4-inch tube, like 4-inch round circumference. It was about like maybe 2 feet long. We decided to turn that into a giant steamroller, and it was so massive and it hit so hard. We nicknamed it the Elephant Gun because it just blew our brains out. And I think was it me or was it Zach? We were like, hey, that'd be a good band name.
I don't exactly recall who came up with the name.
I don't either.
I know they were stoned when
we
they
were
did
really
it,
high when
for
we
sure.
did it, so I can't really say for sure. But
Had they seen those videos from the Middle East of the guys shooting the elephant gun and being launched through the glass door?
no.
We probably weren't. It was probably a good thing we weren't watching those videos while we were stoned. They weren't
Yeah.
thinking about that. So I would have pivoted in a different
might have
direction.
come up with a different name.
Yeah, but then it was completely just based around what we were doing at the time, kind of being a bunch of young idiots making music, and it's stuck, and we've
Okay.
grown to love it over
Cool.
time.
Yeah.
It's fun when a band name has a story.
Story.
A bit of an origin story.
Yeah, because and they all do, but some are more interesting than others, and the fact that when it was illegal, now it's legal, and you don't, that makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Zach called me the other Gunn band. Let's see.
This is America. There are guns everywhere, Zach.
Let's see. Del Rod says, "Woohoo! Best band ever."
Ever. Whoa, thank
We'll
you.
take it.
We'll take it. All
Take it and run
right.
with that one.
Beatles, eat your heart out.
Monica Samuels, loving it, guys. New song is awesome. And let's see. Zach says, took 2 people to operate that contraption.
Yeah, he's
The
talking
elephant
about
gun.
the elephant gun.
Yeah,
I mean, one guy to hold the pipe and one guy to hold the cup to pull it out so you can get a hit. And you had to plug it with a cup in order to get a proper hit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mad scientists, man.
Crazy scientist.
I swear, the most creative people you'll ever meet are stoners.
I believe that.
Oh, yeah. My buddy, got an army buddy that lives in Vegas, and oh, shit.
I sense you have a story of your own.
More than I care to admit. But let's see. What's some of your biggest highlights in your career so far as Banana Gun?
Yeah,
Elephant
did it
Gun.
again. All right.
I'm going to get shot.
Number 2 right there.
I'm sorry. As Elephant Gun. Come on, Yeti.
I know mine would be winning the Battle of the Bands. When was that? That was like 2016 or 17.
I was probably 17.
Yeah. It was Battle of the Bands through Afton, I think. I don't know if they're around anymore, but it was with us, a band called the Edisons, I think was a part of it.
Okay.
And
Still play with those guys. They're awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Edisons. Check them out. They're a great alternative.
That's one I do
band.
know of that you've brought up.
Right
that I've heard. So absolutely.
I can't remember what the other band was. So I'm sorry if that other band is watching and just throwing me the finger right now. I totally get it. But
making
yeah,
myself a note.
we didn't expect to win that at all, and we did. So that was cool. We ended up winning a show at Westgate on New Year's Eve. So that turned out to be a really fun little
that was
shindig.
cool. Like getting those kind of prizes is awesome. For me, like all the biggest highlights is whenever we kind of finish something. When we finished our last album, that was just so much effort went into that over years. And like I mentioned at the top, I think the thing that I love the most about just music in general, just for me, is the creative process. Writing, working on it, working with these guys on it, jamming on stuff, and coming up with these crazy ideas, and finally being able to get those down, get them mixed, get them finished, get them out to people, and they get the reaction to it and everything, and all the feedback. And so that at that point, that was like the biggest thing we'd ever done. I think now I might need to count, doing this interview, releasing another song to that list, because
Thank you.
we might get into it later, but we took a pretty big break, and coming back now, I think there's just so many things on our bucket list as a band that I think we didn't accomplish the last time around. So just knocking some of those off now has just been pretty awesome. and hopefully it keeps going moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll second that. It's definitely being able to be on something like this, and it feels good to when you get kind of the feeling that other people actually, at least, somewhat are interested and kind of care. Like I said, we've been doing this for well over a decade, and it gets frustrating sometimes when you feel like the crowd isn't there, or you feel like the support isn't there. You put your heart and your soul into something, you work your ass off, and it just doesn't quite go as far as you expected it to go, or as far as you wanted it to go, or as far as you think it should. Granted, I have no regrets about anything. Everything's...
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only regret I really have is stopping for so long when we did.
How long was that break?
Like 4 years.
20.
Yeah.
I think it was longer than that, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, probably closer to 5, 6, maybe even. It was a while.
Yeah. It was long enough for me to join another band. I was in another band for a while. It was dark times.
But, like, I won't
Chance
say
that was during
artists.
COVID? No?
It was before.
It was
Before?
a little
Okay.
before COVID, but throughout COVID, yeah, we weren't playing together, and I think we all kind of grew up, got married, had kids, all that. Kind of went through those kind of growing stages in your life, those natural growing stages, and just started to miss it, I think, after a while. And like I said, we had a couple things we hadn't checked off the bucket list yet, and some more music in us that I think we wanted to get out to people.
Yeah.
And just missed really the camaraderie of like just hanging out with these guys and creating stuff together. It's
Yeah.
I think that was the main thing that drew us back into this
I think
whole crazy world of music.
we are bandmates. We've been bandmates for a long time, but more than that, we're all three of us were super close friends. And
Yeah. That always comes first, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason we've been able to stay together in the same lineup for as long as we have been, because we're all such, good friends. We understand like when life happens and stuff like that. So,
For sure.
yeah. Except the days I hate you.
Well,
Most days.
and that happens because, like they say, a band is worse than an actual marriage. Because
Oh, it feels like that sometimes. Yeah.
oh, I'm sure. I get it. Sometimes if a band comes in to do an interview and they're in the midst of some things, you can sense it,
Oh, yeah.
especially when you're somebody like me. And
It's definitely an aura to that.
yes,
Feeling.
and when you
Yeah,
can
for
sense those auras, it's crazy. But it always seems to work through. So I'm glad that does. Let's see. Diana Fincher said.
Ooh.
Chimera said, "Yay, Elephant Gun."
That's my wife and daughter. Don't
Okay.
call her Diana. She'll reach through that screen and grab
sorry.
you by your face.
Diane.
She has amazing superpowers. I've never seen anything like
Okay.
it.
I know some women like that. In fact, I'm
Love you,
married to one.
ladies.
Yes.
It's almost like he's on camera right now saying all that nice stuff.
It almost is. That wasn't
Video
I
evidence.
said she had superpowers. Okay.
She's gonna play that part back on a loop.
So the E is this big, and it's hard to see if that's an E. or not.
Ah.
My mistake. I'm sure I'd be in a whole lot hotter water if I knew her and got it wrong.
I'm just messing.
No, that's
She's
cool.
actually super nice. Actually,
Yes.
very very sweet.
We all like to talk shit anyway.
Yeah,
No matter
she knows
what.
that. She's better at shit talking than I am.
Right?
Oh my God, she will roast me, and nobody roasts me like her, except maybe Lavon, my daughter, my middle daughter. She oh man, she made me so self-conscious. Like usually I wear a hat. I meant to go and get it because she pointed out, we were just roasting each other one day, right? And she pointed out that I have a receding hairline, and I was like, oh
no.
how could you?
Never point out the receding hairline.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you'd be like me. My wife will get me and my 8-year-old to go, Daddy, you just got roasted. I'm like, really, 8-year-old? I know where you're spending the rest of the evening. So who are some of your musical influences?
You want to go first?
Sure.
Excellent.
Excellent. For me, the big ones off the top of my head, obviously, the Beatles. Just a massive influence on, I think, just the way we write. Like, just kind of not really concerning ourselves too much with genre so much. Even though we kind of stay in the rock realm, not really worrying too much about, we need to kind of hit this one thing and just kind of beat it over the head. We try to cover a lot of ground with music and
do whatever comes to heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man, Queens of the Stone Age, Tool is a big one that tied all of us together early because we're all big Tool heads. Right now I'm listening to a lot of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, if anyone heard that. And then, like, maybe some Fleet Foxes if I'm feeling a little, daydreamy. But always, I'm always kind of like trying to listen to new stuff. It always kind of drips into my music, whatever I'm writing at the time. I'm always kind of looking for new little angles to kind of little droplets of things to add in too. So it's like I'm listening to everything from hip hop to, electronic music to R&B. And I grew up, my dad played so much like soul and funk around the house growing up. So that's just like in my bones too on top of that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay, it's my turn.
When I turn this way, it's to throw it to you.
Oh, okay. Now I know.
I'll be more dramatic.
I'm aware of my cues now. All right. I'd say most of my biggest musical influences are from the metal arena. Like I said earlier, Pantera was my all-time favorite band. Grew up listening to them. Rush. Rush is like, that band is like no other band ever. They're truly one of the greatest of all time. Like he said earlier, Tool is definitely what ended up kind of directing my chops early on in the band. If you listen to our discography, I'm kind of just like rapidly and horribly trying to rip off Danny Carey. Yeah, Slayer is another one of my all-time favorites. Dave Lombardo is because his drum rolls are just absolutely unbelievable every time I hear him. But much like Mike, I listen to a lot of different stuff. Like, metal's my main thing, and rock's another thing I like a lot. But I grew up listening to, like, with my mom, she listened to, like your dad, a lot of soul and a lot of funk and Motown era music. And that too was in my bones. So, like, I loved it. Like, the first time I was ever on stage, singing anything, I was with my brother. Me and my brother, we sang "Boys to Men." I can't remember which song it was. I think it was like "Mama" or something. It was a Mother's Day talent show thing at our school. Okay. We were like maybe like 8 years old or something, and maybe a little bit younger than that. So there's that. But yeah, lately, my wife she's a living jukebox. She listens to so much different music, and it's really opened my eyes to all the good stuff that I've kind of just like if it wasn't guitar driven, or if it wasn't like dark or have some kind of edge to it, I wouldn't give it the time of day. Lately, I've been getting into country.
Oh no.
Like there's a lot of good country out there.
I might have to leave this interview right now.
A lot of no, dude. Like the country is like one of the few genres left that's still making music that actually has a good story behind it, and it's not just rambling bullshit. And I like stories in music. That's why I love progressive rock so much. Like when you listen to Rush, you're like, or the 2112 album, it's just like the whole thing's just one big story. You can follow it. You feel like you're there. And I feel like a lot of country does the same thing. Sometimes in a really satirical, funny way. Di, if you're listening, what's that one song about that perfect country western? You know, got hit by that damned old train, she'll know it, and she'll send it, and you'll see, and you'll be like, oh, okay. But,
well, it's funny you say that, because as of recent, because I've been trying to break into all the genres, and it's hard, because I started in the rock and metal side of the house, because that's where I got introduced to the scene at.
Yeah.
And I finally got into the country realm, and I have been neck deep in the singer-songwriter portion of old country.
Yeah.
But newer people.
Yeah.
And the depth in what they do and how they do is just insane.
It's insane, right? See, he gets it. You're the minority here, Mike. There's a lot of really good country.
I will admit here on live YouTube that, yes, there are some country songs that I like.
Yeah, that's
anyone who knows me will know how hard it was for me to say that.
That said, I've also been getting into gospel a little bit. I play in my church band sometimes, and so I've gotten into guys like Brandon Lake. He recently put out, honestly, one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life, called Hard Fought Hallelujah. If you haven't heard it, definitely listen to it. It's amazing. And just I've always kind of been into gospel to a degree, just because gospel drumming in particular is on a whole nother level. It's right up there with jazz. It's crazy. It's stuff I wish I could do.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of very good musicianship in gospel.
She says, David Allen Coe, you don't have to call me darling.
Yeah, that's darling. The one. Darling, oh, you don't even call me by my name. Get it.
Zach says, for me, since he couldn't be here, just giving you shit, Zach. No worries. He was really into Dinosaur Jr., Mudhoney, and also a lot of Stoner Sludge. Really into the Melvins, Fu Manchu, Kyuss.
Kyuss.
Okay.
Yeah. Precursor to Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Cool. Very awesome.
Yeah.
Next time, Zach, you better have your butt here so you can say that.
Zach has always been the guy. He brought more edge to our sound, more of that grunge feel, more of that I'm gonna spit in your face feel, you know.
He brings a very an authenticity to the music, I think.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
We all kind of have our own little personal things. There's things that music interests that tie us together, and then we all kind of float on our own little satellites of the stuff that we're really interested in. So his whole thing was always, and he is always turning us on to, Dinosaur Jr. and Caius and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, I listen to a lot of music that I listen to now because of Zach.
I think we've all kind of been that's kind of just been our dynamic as a band. I'll tell Zach, I'll get Zach into something, and then Zach will get Mike into something, and then Mike will get me into something. I've also been listening to a lot of King Gizzard, and it's because of this guy. He's drilled it, and now I listen to that band at some point every single day, and it's all your fault, Mike.
Preach.
Thank you.
Oh, let's see. Daniel Rodriguez says, great to see you guys rocking again. Can't wait for the new album. And let's see. Melon Bach deleted their message.
He's
just because we started talking, it's oh shit, I can't be
nasty.
Go Elephant Gun.
Right on.
Yeah, don't make me say that without being able to read it, because I probably get it wrong again. If you could collaborate with anybody, bringing them back.
Oh man.
Oof. You're really digging deep now, huh? That's a tough one.
He's asking the good questions. This guy.
Yeah.
Trust me, the research that went into the question list was obnoxious, and I had help.
I love obnoxious questions.
Yes,
that's what we do. We are obnoxious. Okay.
For me, I think it would be like prime Brian Wilson, and I only say that because at his prime with his ears. Just the kind of stuff he was able to create in the 60s to me is just insane. And just being somebody who's kind of a nerd about the creative process and how these parts fit together and how these instruments sound on top of each other and all the different kind of ways you can kind of orchestrate things, I think that would be a dream collaboration for me, for sure.
Huh. Like, does it have to be an individual or can it be a band? Like,
I don't know.
I can't really think of any individuals
Make
who
the
I
question
feel
your
competent
own,
enough as a musician to be like, hey, we could jam together, you know? Like, honestly, and maybe Dimebag Darrell just to hang out with him because he seemed like he was so fucking awesome and fun and
I would just sit him in a room and just be like, yo, just solo so I can just listen to you solo.
Yeah, just
Well,
stand there with your guitar, play it, and just
He
let me
lived
watch.
across from the rainbow, so he just walk over and play.
Oh, man.
You know, actually, either him or I would love to have.
Lenny. Sorry.
I would love to have Dio. Dio, if we were able to get Dio to sing on one of our songs, can you imagine how epic that would be?
That would be super epic.
Yeah. I think I'm amending that. I'm gonna have to go with Dio just because his voice was just unbeatable.
Right.
It's, such a giant voice and such small stature. Dio was a small giant of a man.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll go with Dio.
Melon says, last exit soon?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's our next show. That's going to be our single release show.
Okay.
It's May 30th.
Yeah.
Friday, May 30th.
Yeah.
At Last Exit Live. We were probably going to do this again at the end.
Yes. There is a question in here for that.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Melon.
We're going to see Melon tomorrow.
It's cool.
Actually.
I'm screwing up left and right on this, and I apologize. I don't know where my head's at.
I'm having a great time.
I'm still like 3 questions back. Like, oh man, I keep thinking of other bands. Like, oh, this band also was a big influence on me, man.
I know. Yeah, if we could probably fill up a whole episode.
I
just
know.
listing
right?
Influences.
Just go on all day.
Got any pre-show rituals? Like anything off the wall?
Drinking, of course.
Yeah, I try to keep it down to about a shot and 2 beers now. I think that's a sweet spot for me. I would say there's some pre-show tics. Like, I get a lot of anxiety, like, before shows. Like some people probably do. When I get anxiety, I start yawning. So if you ever see me walking around before a show and you think that I'm, like, tired or I don't want to be there because I'm yawning and stuff, no, it's because I'm very, very nervous right before I go on.
I never knew that.
Really?
I've seen you yawn. I never knew that's why. That explains a lot, actually.
It's like just uncontrollable yawning starts happening.
And believe it or not, it's really cool because no matter how long band members have been together, they always learn something new about each other when they come in here.
Yeah. I've probably been doing it so long that you don't even notice anymore.
Yeah. No, honestly, I don't really have a lot of time for pre-show rituals because I'm usually the guy. Like,
Well, yeah, you're the drummer. You don't have time for rituals.
No, there's that, but also like because I usually organize the shows that we play. Like, I usually am the guy that contacts the venues, finds the bands. Once we get there, I got to make sure all the bands are situated, know when they're going on, and
That's true.
all that other stuff. So I don't really have a lot of time for that. I try to do like little warm-ups occasionally, like before I play, because I'm getting older, so I start to get wrist pain and elbow pain. And
You're not getting old.
I'm not getting old, but
I think you
I've
said getting
abused
older.
I've abused my body to a degree where I do need to start warming up a little more often before I play.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we should be doing that anyway, because let me tell you about when you do get old.
I'm sure I'll know soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, also, just thinking of this now, which I started kind of doing probably in the last year, which I'll just, if my wife is cool with it, because she's usually driving with me to the show, I'll, like, queue up some of our songs and just crank them in the car and sing along with them just to warm my voice up and stuff, so that's been helping a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
God, man.
That sounds like a great thing to do.
So annoyed by you sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maxine, you're a champion.
Well, our wives get annoyed with us all the time. They just don't vocalize it.
Sounds like a cat's getting annoyed by us.
Yeah, that's Nala. She's annoyed by herself.
Quiet down in there.
Yes, I have 2 Sphinx. I had 3. Poor Babu, we were on vacation. He got hit by a car, and
Oh, bummer.
that was my buddy.
I'm sorry.
This is the one we kind of sort of rescued. She apparently came out of a bad scenario, and
Oh no.
we haven't lived it down, and we had nothing to do with it. And but neither one of them. Well, she might walk in here, but then she's going to turn around and run back out. Gracie, she's not coming in here because she doesn't know you. Babu would be sitting on your lap or between the 2 of you because he was just cool. He's been in a couple of videos and a couple of interviews, so it was pretty awesome having him. And, I miss the hell out of him now. But what's your songwriting process? Where does it start?
It's changed a lot over the years. Like, initially, it started out as just us jamming and then be like, hey, that sounded cool. Let's do something else with that. And then jamming on it some more. On the last album, we were trying to be a little more cohesive, so there was a lot more collaboration that time around. So Mike, he'd come in with a riff, and Zach would come in with a riff, and we'd work on some stuff. I'd throw in an arrangement for drums, and occasionally I'd write up some lyrics.
I would reject all of this.
All
and
of
then
this.
I would do my own thing.
Yes, exactly. It's a desperate attempt for me to feel important.
No. You make the song go.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we will jam on stuff. We'll forget most of it. We've gotten better about recording things and kind of making sure, like, oh man, that sounds really cool. Because we'll just, like, we have jam days essentially where we kind of go in like, oh, let's not put any kind of pressure on this. Let's just kind of have fun. And then so we'll do like big long 30-minute stretches where we just kind of keep going and going and going, don't stop, go to the next riff and keep going and going and going. And we'll try to record that stuff. And then if we find like a little, and then we'll kind of dissect that after. But I think we've written in a bunch of different ways. I think, to me, there's like many different ways to skin a cat, essentially.
Yeah. I don't think we really have a set way of writing a song.
Yeah.
We just kind of...
I think that's the fun part of it. Sometimes I'll kind of write a big chunk of it, I'll bring it in, we'll work on it together. Other stuff is built just from one of those jam sessions. So.
Yeah, this new batch of songs, for the most part, though, is mostly been Mike bringing it in and just like having a set idea and them being good ideas. We're just like, all right, let's fucking do it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely is a couple of the batch, but I mean, ironically, like, or I don't even know what irony means, but whatever the song that we are releasing first, The Fisherman, was actually birthed out of just a jam that we did, and really liking that opening riff, and kind of just, okay, now we need the next part, so let's work on the next part. Where does this naturally lead? So yeah, I actually kind of recall exactly the day we wrote that song. That's how much I loved that song, and I was like, I need to make sure we get this down recorded somewhere.
You're gonna have to regale me on that sometime, because I don't remember any of that shit.
Yeah. And obviously it changes over time. Like when we start playing it live, it might have a different vibe, and kind of maybe, we need to beef up this part and that part because it makes the crowd react a little bit more, and kind of play off of that stuff, and that plays a little bit of a role in how you write stuff too, I think.
Well, yeah. and I get most bands write in the practice room and whatnot, but then they're fine-tuned live.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you have the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
Then you're going in the right direction or wrong direction, or whatever.
Sure.
You learn from that. But
honestly, I feel like we shine, not to discredit our songwriting or anything. I know our songs are awesome because I feel like we shine in this way, but I think we become alive the most during live shows. When we're playing
absolutely.
live in front of people, I think that's when we're really on the top of our game.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to a lot of our influences, we all listen to a lot of kind of prog rock stuff, and we like to just jam out. That's when we're having the most fun. So a lot of times we'll throw that into the live shows, expand the songs, and do just different things you're not going to find on the recorded version. But
and that's how all of our live shows always go. There's always going to be at least one song that is not exactly how it is recorded.
Has like an extra section.
Whole extra.
We get a little masturbatory sometimes with our jams, but we're trying to tone it down a little.
Right. and most of us that are just fans and not musicians, we realize that the recording is in as perfect and done in an as perfect environment as possible.
Right.
So it's going to be spot on. Yeah. And then when we hear it live, it's a show. So put on the show.
Yeah.
Even if we know you made a mistake, it's live. We know that. We don't care.
Yeah,
and,
that's
and I know so many people that beat themselves up when they make a mistake.
Man, sure.
Don't worry about it. Just roll. And no, because I've been in your shoes in a different platform.
Right.
I'm up there making mistakes, and nobody noticed but me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't see that? And they're like, huh. And I watched you the whole time you were up there, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I think that's something I've kind of only really recently, this last kind of this iteration of the band, have started to get over that, because I used to be the guy that comes off stage and like, oh, we sucked, did you hear that part, and like where we messed up on that song, and so sloppy, and everyone's just like, what are you talking about? Like, we couldn't, and I would also be the guy that's up there where you could, and I learned this, I forget what I was watching. I was watching like a interview with like Conan or something like that, where he's talking about like, you're up there, and if you mess up and you acknowledge that you mess up while you're up there, whether you look kind of, people can see it on your face,
right?
They get the energy, and they will react to that. But if you just keep a smile on your face, you keep rolling, people just completely forget about what you just did and get back into what you're doing there. So
again, it's a live show.
Yeah, it's a live show.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people before after shows, and like even after shows that I perceived as not our best, just like they don't even notice. Like, the only people who ever notice anything like that are people who have seen us every single time we've played for like the beginning, like since the very beginning.
Yeah,
and that's, for the most part, that's not typically our audience.
And only the asshole ones that'll tell us.
Yeah.
Like, you guys messed up on that one.
Well, the asshole ones, or the ones that truly love us. My wife will be 100% honest with me, but she'll also tell me, like, stop beating yourself up. It wasn't that bad. Other times,
I saw it, but nobody else did.
Yeah.
Melon says it's the no gas face, and also asked how long you'd been a band. I guess he missed that question earlier. Was it 14 years?
About 14 years.
About 14 years.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Zach says we used to bring in songs separate and work each other into it, but as we went further,
work each other.
We were much better about incorporating jams into song skeletons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically,
a full-blown band. Let's see, written tunes.
Yeah, ironically, that's all that, like, working those spacey parts, those jams, and all that started to happen once everybody stopped smoking weed.
That's true. I mean, we got better at, like, remembering that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I think, Zach definitely, that kind of jogs a memory, because that was definitely something I think we made a concerted effort, because we would be in those practice rooms, and we would come up with these crazy things where we kind of would just go off on tangents, and sometimes we would be like, wow, that sounded better than anything we've written so far, and it kind of has this freedom to it. So before that, we were definitely, I think, in the early stages of the band, when we had at one point we had like 3 songwriters all bringing in songs and stuff, and kind of jockeying for a spot on whatever project we're working on or set list we're working on. They were very kind of written, and we would all kind of just finish them together, but they were very much whatever that person who brought it in kind of envisioned. And we made a very concerted effort to inject a lot of the jamming stuff, the stuff that all 3 of us together kind of come up with on the fly into the songs.
Yeah.
Make it, and I think that really helped to make our sound,
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Well, we're going to go ahead and break for the intermission song. Here's Elephant Gun and A Simple Transmission in the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com.
Working mothers, common lovers, teachers are teaching fools. Grind your day into a shape and leave yourself amused. Labor, love, live a life and sing a happy song. Maybe someday cut the strings that twist into your bones. Everybody's got a role. I hope that you found yours. If so, see you at the finish line. If I'm staying behind. I just wanna set my brain up. Fit into the corner of the put my headphones on and disappear. Take it to that space that lies between the spaces and the shapes of the universe will create. I find the phone and get all that. Nothing really matters. Everybody's got to love the game. Some will play and some will walk away. Win or lose, we leave it up to you. Ready, set, go, go, go. Transmission has begun. 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 Transmission has begun.
Welcome to the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com.
And we're back in studio with Elephant Gun. I got it right.
Got it.
Yes. Oh,
You roughed them up a little bit between
Yeah.
during that
Yeah.
last song.
Camera was off. You guys didn't see it. It was brutal.
let's see. What's your favorite song to perform?
Oh,
New one, old one, whatever.
I think right now American Cheese.
Yeah, American Cheese by far is my favorite to perform. Well, no, it's almost American Cheese, but no, it's actually Two Steps. I think Two Steps is my favorite to perform
He does
live.
have a love affair with Two Steps. I would say second would probably be Shit Out of Luck, just because I like singing that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got a guitar singer and then drummer singer. With the guitar and the drums, that's two different technicalities as far as technical levels. And
yeah, I mean, I don't typically sing and play drums.
He tried for a while, but
I tried. It didn't go well. So at least in my mind, I don't think I did very well at it. So
I thought it was good.
I just I'd rather be a good drummer than a okay drummer and an okay singer. So.
Okay,
makes sense.
Understandable. Makes total sense. Do you have a song? The question is there a song that you don't like to perform? But if you don't like to perform, it's probably not going to be on the set list. So, so I've changed it to: is there one that's a little more complicated than the rest to perform, whether it's emotionally or technically?
I would say for me, there's Dust and Ashes. Technically, I don't think I have anything that's emotionally hard to play, but yeah.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be both, one or the other.
Yeah,
I just try to break it down so it's not something that you don't like to play, just something that's a little harder to play.
Yeah, it's a little harder. I'm doing I do second vocals on that one, and so I wrote the guitar parts to be a little bit more technical, but I'm not super great at doing super technical guitar work and singing at the same time. So you'll notice a lot of songs where I'm singing lead, I'm probably just playing a couple chords, power chords or something like that to make it a little easier on myself. But yeah, that one for sure.
See, this is ironic because it's also one of my favorite songs to play, but it's American Cheese. It's definitely, as far as the drums go, it's probably the most technical song in our arsenal, I think.
Yeah.
Outside of maybe In Misery. I think In Misery would be a close second. But American Cheese, there's a lot of dynamics in that song, and it's also extremely fast. It's very
that one speaks to another influence that I'm like, why didn't I mention this? The Mars
I know,
Volta.
I'm thinking it right now. That song, we both took a lot of influence from the Mars Volta with that song. The very chaotic, progressive nature, the way they write their songs.
Dissonant guitars,
yeah,
really fast, chaotic drums.
Yeah, lots of double strokes and just fills and rolls everywhere, and like not to the point where it's like bombastic and pointless. Just
yeah, they all have their place. That one's difficult, but I feel like the fun of playing that one kind of outweighs the difficulty of it for me. So
okay,
it is a really fun. When we get it right, it's probably our most well received song, and it's definitely an absolute blast to play. As long as we can get through it right, you know. I know that one's my wife's favorite.
So what's your favorite performance so far over the years?
What's our favorite performance? I'm so bad at this type of question, just because I feel like I have the worst recall for like shows.
I think my favorite so far, I mean, and it wasn't anything particularly special about it, but we played Yucca a while back, and you know everybody plays
Was
Yucca.
this the last Yucca show?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, if I'm remembering off the top of my head, like within the last 2 years, the funnest and best show that I remember us doing, it was that Yucca show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was like, because I wasn't really expecting there to be a big crowd there. Just, you know, I don't know why. I think it was because when we were going on a little earlier, but we
when you put 20 people at the Yucca, it's somewhat crowded.
There was more than 20 people.
It is a little bit of an optical illusion, but
right?
No, there was definitely more than 20 people.
There was definitely more than 20.
It was a lot. It was probably it could have definitely been double that at least.
I think for me that was definitely one of those ones where I went in being like, just have fun on this one.
Yeah, you know, and we
don't
did.
Worry
we had
about
a lot
it.
of fun.
And I ended up being one of our best shows in a very long time.
Yeah,
okay.
and
Cool.
it wasn't really the amount of people that made it special. It was that they were into it. Like they were really into it.
Yeah.
People were.
I've been to some shows at the Yucca where it was just standing room, and that's all we did was stand.
Yeah, we've.
I'm
played those
6'5",
shows.
300 pounds. I don't move. I just stand there and watch, take pictures.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally shoot a video or something, and but I've also been to shows at Yucca where you had to watch because you might accidentally step out in front of somebody that's coming from the side that you don't see and get run over. So
Oh, you know what?
those are fun.
I'm gonna change mine.
Okay.
I'm gonna change mine.
Free country, bro.
It is, so I'm gonna change it. All right. Now that I'm thinking back further, much further now, and I think it's got to be our our fake album release.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Not
man!
fake. It was a false start.
It was a false start. Okay, it was, we had meant to release our last album,
Good
Simple
Intentions?
Transmission.
Yes. There was no malicious intent.
Yes, yeah, or was there?
There wasn't. Ignore that piece.
Yeah, but it was such an amazing show because the lineup was absolutely awesome. It was super awesome. We had Citrus Clouds. We had I think didn't Terra Firma play that one too?
I think they might have.
Yeah, I think
opened
Terra
for
Firma.
us.
They're no longer together anymore, but Terra Firma was really awesome when they were around. And what's the other band?
I'm not sure. It was a long time ago.
We were really drunk. But the fact
Where
that
was
it was at the Rogue Bar, back when the Rogue Bar was still around.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was an awesome venue. too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That
Damn
place
you,
got
COVID.
packed for us, and we had a really awesome show. And that was another one. I think. Well, obviously, the best shows is when the crowd's like super into it. And,
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because you kind of feed off that energy, and it kind of kills the nerves, and then everyone's just kind of focused on having a good time. So.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. It was after our set was done, everybody was just like, "One more song!" You remember that?
Yeah,
it's like the
man.
whole crowd just yelling for us to keep playing,
Yeah.
but
those
we
are
didn't.
awesome.
We wanted to give the
Those
bands
are the kind
their
of-
time.
Yeah, you kind of get those highs from those shows carry you for a while. That one definitely carried me for a while.
Your fake album release, Melon says, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. And I totally get it. You know, it again, shit happens.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump said it best. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened on stage?
Remember that Tucson show?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that happened on stage, but
Yeah, it didn't happen
Or
on
at a
stage.
show. Or at a
we
show.
went to a pretty sketchy bar in Tucson.
Yeah.
I think someone got stabbed.
Yeah, somebody. It was definitely a bar fight. Somebody got hurt. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was. Was it while we were playing too?
I think it might have
I
been.
think it was while we were playing. It was this really sketchy biker bar, and you know we're no strangers to biker bars. We've played Chopper
especially in
Johns,
the
and
early
Right.
days.
Mavericks,
yeah.
and like in the early days, we kind of had more of a metal edge to us, so we were playing a lot more with metal bands. This was like in the early days, but nobody went into that bar expecting a bar fight to bust out, let alone somebody getting stabbed. That was a crazy night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
can
also
imagine.
broke my guitar that night too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And that was unrelated, and I didn't even notice until like when I got it home.
It was the neck, wasn't it?
Yeah, the neck just snapped on it, and I was just like, oh no. And I had like just bought
In
that guitar.
the middle or at the base?
At
or?
the-
at the
right at the-
like right under the headstock.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was funny.
I think Mike might have gotten a bar fight too.
I don't.
There's one of the bands I just recently interviewed, Teskey. It's a blues rock band. Brandon, one of he's got a vintage. I'm not going to try and say the name of it because I don't remember. But it's an old blues guitar, and it's like a 1965.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's,
So a very good guitar.
yeah, and it broke
Oh, bummer.
like in the middle.
Oh, no.
And he had to send it to get it fixed and repaired. And I was just like, they can do that? I'm like, holy
You
shit.
can do that.
That's crazy.
Who knew?
Right? So, what's your favorite local venue to play?
I know my favorite local venue used to be Joe's Grotto.
Okay.
Fortunately, it's no
Kinda
longer
gotta draw-
around.
Yeah, because like
Right.
when we were playing out a lot before COVID, obviously there's a lot more venues.
Yeah.
Joe's Grotto was Rogue Bar.
Yeah.
Was a big one.
Joe's.
I loved Rogue Bar. Like we played there so much, they just let us play there whenever we wanted.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, hey, we want a show. All right,
Yeah.
when? Cool.
Those guys
See you
are
then.
so awesome.
But Joe's Grotto, that place was always so fun. The crowd was always really friendly and really into it, and you know the staff at the venue was always super helpful and professional. And they always, like, anytime we wanted to play there, they're just like, hey, yeah, we can find something for you.
Yeah. That was another
cool.
one of one of my favorite shows we ever played was at Joe's Grotto. I think
Saferfest.
Yeah.
Saferfest.
Yeah,
Actually, I played in 2 bands on that one. That was fun.
Yeah.
Those had to be a fun night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't really recall any night at Joe's that wasn't fun.
Well, yeah, but having to play 2 sets
Yeah. As a
Yeah.
drummer.
as a drummer, you know.
Yeah, I played. They were doing a thing to try to get the legalization of marijuana on the ballot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So it was meant to.
Get it legalized so I won't smoke it anymore. Damn! Why'd that backfire?
So much effort in trying to get it legalized, and then we all quit.
Well, I will tell you, 2 New Year's Eves ago, was my first time ever, because I professionally couldn't before.
Oh, okay.
And my daughter's like, well, when you can,
Let's get
it's
down.
with me first. I think it ended up being with her husband, my son-in-law, but she was there, so... And she did it as well with us, but she was still cooking and whatnot, so she still had to stay somewhat focused.
Right.
And I don't know. I didn't know anything about the rules of weed, and I crossfaded because we were doing Irish car bombs.
Yeah.
I think I did like 4 Irish car bombs between 2 or 3 gummies, 1 rollie. Then we broke out a pipe. Then we hit a bong.
Oh, man.
And it was like 9:30, and I looked at my wife. I said, it's time to go home. Can you go pour me in the car? So she walked me to the car, put me in the car, took me home. I didn't even make it to fucking New Year's. Are you serious?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I've never not made it to New Year's, and the one I crossfade on, I'm like, I don't make it. I'm like, that sucks.
And stuff nowadays is like so much stronger. Like the last time I had, like, I smoked a lot, or I didn't smoke it. It was actually a edible, which we didn't really have back when I was in my early 20s. Like, not that much, not that readily available, but I had a gummy, and it was just hit me so hard.
Well, between edibles and smoking, they say they hit different anyway.
Yeah,
Well,
So-
edibles are.
that one had me in the
much
fetal position in my bed. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to go to sleep.
I
remember-
can eat 2 or 3 and still be functional, and my daughter does like half of one, and she's like, "Ooh." And I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
It
Yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
take
my
much
tolerance
for
is so
edibles as far
low.
as
It's so out
I'm
the door
concerned.
now. It's like I take a little puff of something, and it's like, yeah, I'm gone.
Well, yeah,
So I just
that's
kinda-
cool.
Best I stay away.
Melon says, let's see, too many venues have closed,
Yeah.
and he said, Dad got stoned. Yes, at 54 for the first time. Let's see. Zach says, how did you get so crossfaded? I don't know.
Well, the
He
edibles,
obviously
the rollies,
doesn't
the bongs,
remember.
the
Yeah,
pipe,
well, that and 4 Irish car bombs.
plus Irish car bombs.
Yeah.
You know,
Kinda writes itself.
a shot of Jameson dropped into a Guinness and slam it. Yeah, 4 of those in the middle of all that THC.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've actually never had an Irish car bomb.
No.
I've always wanted to try it. I've never had one. I'm gonna have to
Wow.
try it one day.
There's a new one I want to try. I saw somebody do. They did the salted caramel monster in a Guinness,
Hmm.
and I was like, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. I feel like that might work.
But I drink Jameson. There's a bottle over there, and it's just in the cup. But
I'm a Jack fellow myself.
yeah, whiskey. Period. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Where it's from or.
Yeah, this guy has like little
Yeah,
bar in his new house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 bottles of different whiskeys in there.
I got an inversion server.
Oh wow.
You
Oh,
push
that's
up on the
cool.
bottom and it drops a shot.
Oh man.
I actually
then-
have that same bottle at home,
That's awesome.
except mine is less empty.
Well, yeah. That one's empty. That's my preferred. One of my preferred.
We
but,
all have things to aspire
good old
to
bullet.
in life. You just gave me
Oh,
another
yeah.
one right there.
well, ever since the movie, because it was featured in Stallone's Bullet to the Head,
I've never seen that.
I don't think I've
and
seen that one.
yeah, I don't know if he's got something to do with Bullet Bourbon or if it
Oh.
was just featured in the movie. And
Mhm.
I mix it with Mountain Dew and call it a Bullet to the Head because too many of those. And
See, I come up with my own. Well, no, that's a lie. My wife comes up with the drink concoctions. She's a lot better at that kind of stuff than I am. Well, she's pretty much better at everything than I am. But right now, we'll just stick to booze. So she invented. We call it the Pepper Jack. It's just Dr. Pepper and Jack Daniels.
okay,
But
yeah,
I mean,
that's good.
it tastes great, and it's the perfect name. So.
Mhm.
This guy's
Yeah.
just racking up brownie points with his wife right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Had a buddy of mine. He had a bottle of Captain Morgan, and all I had was a bottle of Mountain Dew. It's got a vanilla or caramel flavor when you mix them.
Mhm.
Really?
So we called it a shipwreck
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
good.
because we got shipwrecked. We ran aground, matey. Oh boy! But yeah, it's funny because nobody knows Mountain Dew was created actually as a mixer.
I didn't
Really?
know that.
And my generation said, "Fuck that! We're going that way with it." And I have tried to get bars to bring Mountain Dew in.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll walk in and just hand them a bottle of Mountain Dew. They're like, "You can't have that in here." I'm like, "It's for you to make my drink." You're gonna argue with me? I'm paying for it. They're like, "No,
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
no, it's great." It's with Jack Daniels. I call it a Winos whiskey sour because you don't have all the other stuff to go with it, so it's a little cheaper.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't. It's just it changes everything. Like Coke, Sprite, or 7-Up or whatever you normally mix with. It's totally different with Mountain Dew. I can't drink Bullet with any of the others, just Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to
And-
try that because
and
I
I'm like-
I have Bullet at home, so I'm gonna try
I
that.
will bring some Mountain Dew tomorrow.
All right. Better fucking.
Well, we got to credit Yeti for the next song we write because we got drunk off Bullet.
No, but
He's called The Yeti Made Us Do It.
Write a song while we're drunk on that stuff.
We're
gonna call it
name it
Yeti.
The Yeti Made Us Do It.
Oh, that's the song title. Yeti made us do it.
Let's see. If you could play any venue in the world, where would it be? I win a stupid lottery, and I'm going to take a bunch of bands and go on tour, and you get to pick someplace. Where are we going? Each member gets to pick one. Zach,
Zach, you go first.
he's going to need latency time to respond.
Say
So.
CBGB.
Excuse. CBGBs.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull something dumb out of my hat.
CBGBs.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
New York.
Okay.
Well,
A lot
it
of,
used to be. It's
like,
not there anymore.
yeah, I don't think. I think they
It's-
closed it.
Yeah.
Which I'm taking this like the other question where it could be open or closed, because a lot of venues have said.
Well, no, we're going to go on tour, so it's got to be.
Well, we're
open.
gonna break in and we're gonna play CBGB.
Okay, we'll just break in and take over and play it. Well, hell,
like
if I
the
win a big enough
Ramones.
lottery, let's just buy the building
Well,
and,
you
and
can
reopen it.
CBGBs. Exactly. Now we're cooking.
I
Melon said, "Mountain Dew mixer." What?
That's what we said, dude.
Melon.
Okay.
Am I saying that right? Melon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think mine would be in Central Park, just to piss off all the old people.
It's
Right in the middle.
of
I know
Central
it's not a venue, but
Well, you think Billy Joel and Garth
Damn
Brooks
it.
didn't piss people off already?
never mind. I changed my mind.
No. If you could put 100,000 people in it, by all means, let's go. We could put 100,000
We're,
people
we're
in
already
that son of a
breaking into
bitch.
CBGBs, man.
All right.
Why
I
not?
mean, we're already in New York.
We're just gonna
so
go
let's
destroy
do
New
it.
York.
It is- See, but we're already in New York, man. I gotta come up with something else now. I don't know.
Grand Central Park. Let's see. Grateful Sound.
Grateful Sound.
Oh, okay.
Those
Is that Zach right
it.
there?
Yeah. That was Zach, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
You know.
You know. And I don't, so I'll just sit here and be
That is
quiet.
a good one. That's from an anime show, a TV show called Beck, about a rock band. It's a fictional Japanese music festival.
My two oldest daughters may know what that is, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of this really nice coming of age story about these guys starting a band and all this stuff, and it's very relatable if you're in a band. I would say check it out if you're an anime fan and you're in a band.
Yeah, if you want to see the
probably watched
origin,
it like 5 times.
if you want to see the origin story of Japanese Rage Against the Machine, watch that.
Yeah, and the music, that band, like they wrote for that band, and that anime is so good.
It really is, all of it. Like even they have that one that's kind of like Beatlesy. That was like really good music.
I mean, the main band is kind of a Rage Against the Machine ripoff, but
yeah,
the songs are really good.
Some of those songs are actually from bands like The Pillows, Japanese rock band. The one it actually turned me on to that band, and I was like, wow, these guys rock, man.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up on Loudness, so that was pretty insane for a Japanese band.
Yeah, definitely. If you're into that kind of thing, definitely check out The Pillows. They're like kind of like an alternative, like hard rock thing going on.
Check out
it's really cool.
Beck Mongolian Chop Squad.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got our plug in for that
Ellen
old ass
says,
anime.
Madison Cube Garden and Hollywood Bowl.
Garden. That's a good one too, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the garden. That I don't want to be too obvious, but yeah, that would be a big one.
Well, there's Red Rock. There's the Sphere now.
Oh, Red Rock would be freaking awesome.
I know
think
it's
about
not
the
that
Sphere.
hard
There's
to
that
get
festival in Brazil that comes with like 150,000 fucking people.
I have no desire to get stabbed over there. I'm good.
I don't travel a lot, so
Yeah, I don't really travel too much either. I mean, honestly, like I would be if I could play the Whiskey A Go Go just one time in my life, I would be able to die feeling like I've done everything.
Well, go to the website and submit your music.
Oh.
Carlos is accepting.
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah. Carlos Cruz, I believe, they're accepting music for bands to play.
I mean, might as well shoot our shot.
You don't know if you can go if you don't ask.
Exactly.
Fair point. You're making dreams come true today. You know that.
Let's see. Ooh, sorry, allergies and
Nah, you're
my
good.
eye decided to go
this-
screaming.
This year's been crazy for allergies.
But there's lots of great places like Wimbledon or,
What would be your dream?
Wembley? Oh God,
Tough question.
I'm not even a
isn't it?
musician.
I actually have a question for the fans. Where would you love to see us play? Your turn.
Their backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's bring keggers back.
You know what? I'd be totally game for that. You want us to play your backyard
A
party?
couple of those.
Couple $100 in a keg and
We'll play for beer.
okay.
Yeah, done it before. Do it again.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
have a backyard now.
You do have your own backyard now, so
You can
instead of
do
the
that.
glories of getting older.
My neighbors
That
actually.
would piss off some neighbors.
No, actually, I just had
No?
a nice conversation with my neighbors yesterday, and they told me when you said you were in a band, I thought you guys were gonna suck, but you know what? We all really liked it.
Oh, right on.
That is
So,
awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Good to hear.
So what would you guys consider to be a successful music career today as opposed to what it was 40 years ago?
Good one.
Depends on your definition of successful. Like
Well, what's
for
your
me,
definition then? Yeah, that's what he's asking.
yeah, my definition for successful is just
Talk about trolling.
being. That's what we do. We just troll each other all day. Like I could say, like my definition of a successful show is to get through one where Mike doesn't fuck it all up. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was mean. I take that back. No, I'd say
career.
like my definition of like you being successful in your career is to just basically just do what you do and not have any regrets about anything, regardless if you've made money off of it or not, or if you were able to tour the country or even your state. If you feel good about what you're doing, then I mean, honestly, I feel like we may not be the most popular band in the world, but we're still together after 14 years. I mean, your average lifespan for a band is typically only like 5 years. And,
If that.
Yeah.
If that, for
So
sure.
I feel like as a band, we're pretty successful in the fact that we still enjoy making music together and we don't want to kill each other yet.
Well, that's why I quit keeping a catalog of band pictures.
No.
The only time I ask for band pictures is when I'm getting ready to interview you so I can put them on the TV. Other than that, I just work with the logos now because I would post something with the band picture and they'd be like, hey, he's not in the band anymore. It's somebody else. Well, I'm not a mind reader and you didn't tell me, so, and I didn't see an announcement, but, 2,000 plus bands and one of me. I'm sorry, I can only do so much. But, it's... they change very often, and I didn't realize how much, just as a music fan, because I'm listening to bands that I grew up on, and they show up and it ain't the whole band anymore, and that's depressing for me because I want to hear everybody. Granted, one of these guys isn't around anymore, and God bless, but it's just amazing, and it's like I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I can co-sign everything he said as far as success, but I'm going to go the other way. I think private jet, large house, lots of attention, endless amounts of money.
Endless amounts of money.
so you want to play the dirt?
No.
You want to live the dirt?
Should have joined Motley Crue, buddy.
I think what we're working on right now is just checking off the fun parts of the stuff we didn't get to do last time. Releasing music, being uncompromising in our vision. I think that's success for us. Not
Absolutely
getting hung up on what people kind of
What
say
we
you're
think
supposed to be
people wanna
doing
hear.
or whatever. Yeah. So, and then just kind of keeping the relationship strong and having fun. I think that was the big thing. We were like, well, what's the motivation for coming back in your 30s now that we're all kind of a little older and stuff? And it's like, well, just have fun with it, man. We just want to get out there and have fun, and it's fun hanging out with each other.
That's kind of why we stopped playing
Playing
when we
music.
did
Yeah,
the first
it
time, because it
stopped
just
becoming
wasn't
fun.
very much fun anymore.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that break did us.
Godsmack just played downtown last night or the night before, and I'm like, really? Wow.
Yeah, no Shannon, and
Yeah,
that's got to be weird. It's got to be really weird.
really weird.
But at the same time, I understand. Like when you're at that level and you're touring constantly all the time, you don't have time for a life of your own. You don't have time. You miss your kids growing up. You're a stranger to your family and stuff, and that's taxing. That kind of life isn't for everybody. It's not for me. I don't want to be at that level for sure. I have kids. I got a wife, and I want to see my family on the
Yeah, I think
the most part daily basis.
nowadays it's so much. I don't want to say easier because you got to put a lot of work into it, but there's a lot more ways to get some measure of success without being one of those bands. Whether you think that's a good or bad thing is kind of up for debate, but I think just being able to release your music freely, have so many platforms, and it's just really made a lot of arts, yours included, blossom and grow into crazy different directions, and being able to kind of eke out like a little.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. Even if we had the technology, I don't think this could have been done 40 years ago.
Right.
Because there was way too many legal issues, and there still are today. That's why.
Are you on the run right now?
Oh no. Well, we talked about.
If you're on the run right
we
now,
talked
blink
about
twice.
Alice Cooper earlier. Most of his songs, and even the newer ones, they get muted. The last one didn't, and
Oh, right.
I don't know why. I'm glad it didn't because I really enjoy his music, but it's just it's touchy because sometimes you have to go in and mute a song or have it clipped out because YouTube will do that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that because I think YouTube's gotten tired of responding to me because I think something is listening, something in their programming, in their, and I'll always say, you know, because some of the music that I play in my music show is people, managers and whatnot, sending me emails to play music on my show. So they're giving me permission. So YouTube's like, we're not worried about the Yeti anymore.
Yeah. There you go.
But let's see. Zach says, for real, backyard shows and Halloween shows. We played Always Wild.
Good old Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Halloween shows are just nuts. You can imagine. I wear a Bluetooth speaker and have sound effects. And you can hear me 2 blocks away.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's awesome.
We used to play our buddies. He had an annual Halloween party show. We did it for 3 years, I think it was.
Yeah,
so we
something
played
like
it
that.
every year, and it was always a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll mute your mics real quick so I don't get any feedback. Why aren't you? Because I'm muted. And you can hear that. You can hear that about 2 blocks away. And one of the neighbors was like, "Yeah, we were wondering when you were gonna get here. We heard you walking all around." So it's pretty cool.
That's dope.
But is there anything about the music industry you'd change?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, just I mean, like what we were speaking to before, just the way you can kind of get your stuff out there a lot more. I mean, even from when we started, which, you know, was a while ago, but it wasn't that long ago. I think just the ability to make stuff on your own, get it out there on your own, promote it yourself, all that kind of stuff a lot of it is very much in the hands of the artists now, and it's kind of like, well, how much effort do you want to put into this, you know?
Right.
I think that's very different. There's just so many more tools now and just avenues you can take. Obviously, there's still, you know, you got to have that work ethic. You got to have, and the old ways still work to some degree, but, you know, just everything kind of moving into the digital realm, so to speak, or whatever, has changed a lot, just even in the short time we've been around.
Yeah, there's so much now, it's almost like it's flooded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing I feel like is becoming a problem. Is there's so much oversaturation of music and while I'm not gonna crap on anybody for, you know, doing what they enjoy and putting it out there, but a lot of times I feel it makes it a lot harder because there's so many. Like it's very, very hard to stand out. Like, you can be like as good as the Beatles and just go completely under the radar, or you can be as, you know, as mediocre as, I don't know, whoever you consider to be, like, think of the most mediocre band you've ever heard in your life, and they can be like as big as, you know, Beyonce. I mean, I'm sure they're not listening, so I'll just go ahead and say it. I think Beyonce is kind of just like, hey, she's okay, but I mean, I don't.
What if Beyonce's
should she
listening?
be
I know.
a millionaire based off of her
Just gonna
music?
blackball us.
Just go ahead. Nobody.
Since when can Beyonce do country?
See, that's what I mean, man. Like the fact that she's like dipping her toes into country, like, is this like,
man.
it's just
Hot takes going on.
I think she saw that one girl that I think's from Tennessee, and she was on American Idol, and she killed it. I was like, somebody needs to sign that one, because she's got spunk, she's got energy, it sounded great, she had a great band.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, and then all of a sudden Beyonce gets an award for country. I'm like,
yeah, like that absolutely blew my mind, like, because what I perceive country to be, like, more than anything, is authentic and real, and she is none of that when it comes to country. She is not authentically country. She's not real. She's never spent more than a few hours in a rural town. She certainly doesn't own a truck.
She's probably just driven through one.
Yeah,
or been in an airport.
Yeah, I
being
think
in an airport down south count.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, even when she was broke, she wasn't a country person. It's just not authentic to her. That's not who she is. And the fact that she someone like that wins awards for doing that and probably doing it crappily, that's what needs to change in my mind. It's as far as
They're gonna be at war
go,
with
it
all
shouldn't
Beyonce
be
fans
about
after this,
who
bro.
you are. It shouldn't.
Did you just poke the beehive right now? You just poked the beehive, this guy.
Well,
good.
I used to live in Vegas, and I worked at Mandalay Bay, and I got to work the Destiny Child's concert.
Oh.
And my previous job back home, working in a theater for a casino, I got to work with some amazing technical people, audio, lighting, stage. Amazing people I got to work with, and the audio guy that I got to work with taught me everything I know about it, and he was amazing. And just listening to that show, I wanted to go punch the sound guy in the back of the head and take over because it sounded like shit. And I think I could have done a better job. I may not have done a great job, but I think I could have done a hell of a lot better than that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a double-edged sword. You know, a lot of the crap rises to the top also, or just if you have enough money to put behind it, you can kind of push like the worst stuff to the top as well.
Yeah, like I found out in the ocean, shit floats.
Mm-hmm. Cream and shit
Gold
both rise to the
sinks.
top.
That was a going joke because when I was on Guam, I was trying to spearfish, and you have to be able to dive, and I can't dive. I get down about 3 feet and bloop, like a turd. That was the joke, and it took an extra 6-pound lead weight belt for me to be able to dive.
Oh wow!
So I don't know. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out. It's been a blast.
Oh, this is awesome.
And bring Zach next time. Zach, they're going to hold a gun to your head if you don't. They have my permission, and if they need to borrow one, they can.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Just kidding. But let's see. What shows you got coming up? You got
we have
Last Exit Live on the 30th.
Yes, Last Exit Live on the 30th, and our one after that will be at Yucca, July 3rd.
Okay.
But the May 30th Last Exit Live, that's our single release. That's a big one. Tickets are on sale.
For the Fishermen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the Fishermen.
Awesome.
You can go on our Facebook, our Instagram. Links are in the bios to buy those tickets, or you can just buy them when you get to the door.
But it'll be more expensive if you buy at the door, so I recommend buying through the ticket link. It'll be
awesome.
Unfortunately, I'm one of those guys that pay at the door because you know how much shit happens between now and then.
True that.
And I'm, as of the 25th, I'm going to be gone for a while. And sorry.
Hoping to get you
my
out
old
there in
man's got to have
costume and
surgery, and then I got to get him through that, get him recovered, and then get him moved. So I do not know how long I'm going to be gone. We're guesstimating right now probably about 6 to 8 weeks. So
best of luck to you.
Yeah. I'm missing a lot, and I'm not happy about it, but I gotta,
Yeah, gotta take care of what's important.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if he's not still watching, he at least probably was at the beginning. He's finally started seeing what I've done and started hanging out and watching the shows and watching the interviews and giving me some constructive criticism and feedback. He wants me to zoom in on you guys a little bit more than.
Okay.
But.
Should I just walk to the camera?
We'll zoom in.
But again, thank you guys. When's you got the single coming out, Any more coming out or
Yeah,
we
we're
got
gonna
any-
be trying to drop pretty regularly.
Okay.
Yeah, we
new
got some
singles.
songs locked and loaded that pretty much we need to finish them up a little bit, and we'll be kind of releasing those sporadically throughout the year.
Okay.
I
So
can
there's gonna be a
tell
lot of
you-
music coming.
Is
from
that
us.
is that until album time, or are you even going to do an album?
I don't think we're gonna be doing an album. This is our first time not doing an album, but
Yeah.
I think
We're
in-
taking that single approach, kind of.
it's
yeah.
a lot easier to keep new content coming consistently if
Mhm.
we don't have to write whole albums, and it's
As
a lot
much as-
easier to drop
yeah.
one song at a time. And people these days are just, they have short attention spans. Like,
Well,
yeah,
yes.
it's a playlist culture.
yeah.
So,
Much as
and
I love a
we've
good
talked
album.
about that. How does this band stay relevant over time? Because and I get it, because I pull up Spotify and I look at my top 8 or 9 bands that I've been listening to, and I look at them and I see the differences, and I go, okay, that's what I was in the mood for then. That's what I was in the mood for then, and it bounces around so much for me.
Yeah.
I can only imagine everybody else, and we have our bands that are our go-tos all the time for certain times, but then the rest of it's kind of a jumbled mess. And I don't. It's funny because I don't know if the technology with streaming is the cause of that.
I'm sure it is. I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure it plays a role.
I'm pretty sure it's definitely a big role. But, I think also that, that's kind of the beauty of this band, since we don't adhere to any one genre or any one particular sound or vibe. You can find something that if you're into something heavy and dark, you can listen to some of our earlier stuff. You'll find that on. If you're looking for something a little more vibey and a little more chill, you can you'll get more into our newest, or not our newest, but our last
Yeah, we
album.
Songwriting stuff. We got psychedelic
Yeah.
stuff. We got heavy stuff. We
Yeah.
kind of run the gamut. So that kind of really plays into the way we write, anyways. So I think it's going to be really good for us. It'll work out for us.
Yeah.
I'm excited about what we got coming up. It's going to be a good year.
Diane says you've got one on the calendar for June 7th.
Oh no, that one we had one
Oh,
on the
okay.
calendar but that one was canceled.
Okay.
Sorry, folks.
Sorry. Thank you, Melon. Cool.
Yeah, we actually had a bunch of shows that were on the calendar that we ended up.
Yeah, we had to kind of press the brakes a little bit on the live playing stuff, but we will keep a steady kind of recording pace and try to release material as much as possible. Yeah.
Okay. About how long you're looking at between songs?
Well, I can tell you that our next one won't be a long wait. It should be.
Yeah, I think we're kind of probably like bi-monthly. We want to give each one a space to breathe. We already got the next one kind of locked and loaded. We'll probably start mixing that one in a couple weeks or something. And
Should we tell them which one it is?
we can.
Well, you can. I don't have it. I can't play it for you.
Well, yeah, we can't play it for you, so I guess you'll
next
just have to
one-
wait and find out. huh?
Absolutely.
But the Fisherman.
Yeah, we decided.
Okay, the Fisherman will be on all streaming platforms, or the ones that we participate in. I think Apple, Spotify.
Apple, Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah.
Well, that's Apple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Zach's
This is
usually
why I
in
like him to
charge
be
of
talking.
keeping track of all the streaming services that we.
Who's the contact on Instagram?
Both of us kind of share.
Yeah, both of us.
You
Who
you
was
may have
streaming-
been talking to one of
Yeah,
us.
I think it was.
the one that-
I was the one that reached out to you initially.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one that asked you for your address.
Okay.
And sent you the song and stuff.
Okay. Well, it's just because I never know who I'm talking to. I'm like,
Yeah.
But the Fisherman will be out tomorrow
okay.
for everyone.
Who does your
stream
mixing?
and listen to?
You guys
Oh, that was mixed and mastered at Audio Confusion by Jal Paz Nelson.
Jal.
We've been working with him since the beginning.
Okay.
He's amazing. And
awesome.
Yeah, he's
This
great.
guy's a wizard.
Well,
He always makes it sound
I've
good.
come up with some sort of a idea. You've seen on TV on the local channels. Was it Arizona Highways?
Yeah.
There's a little show. I'm contemplating on taking this or adding to this and doing like Arizona Studios with the Yeti, and maybe
Oh.
getting an appointment with the studios and go and interview them
Oh,
in their studio and let them talk about who they record with, or who they're able to say who they record with. Some people are like, yeah, we can't talk about that.
Zhao's
Okay.
one of those guys who's
Yeah,
been around
he's
the local scene for a very
long
long time,
while.
recorded a lot of,
A lot of big influential bands,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll let that be his thing to say who he's
Yeah,
been
absolutely.
with. But we've played with a lot of them, and we've heard a huge portion of them. They all sound top notch, and
Right.
and he's just a super chill, nice guy. So.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
funny because like the first time I met him, I thought he was like super baked, but he doesn't even smoke weed, so he's
Yeah, it's
just
very Rick
naturally that
Rubin-y
way.
vibes. Yeah, he's super
A
cool,
natural
dude.
stoner.
Yeah, I guess.
Anybody looking for a good producer, hit him up. Audio
Yeah.
Confusion.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again very much. It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure having you,
Appreciate
and you're welcome back anytime. Hit me up, and you want to do another premiere for single? If we can get it set
Yeah,
up before
sure.
it happens, we'll do it. Like I said,
sounds
anytime,
awesome.
just let me know.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elephant Gun, right here on the YetiRadio.com in the Backstage Lounge. I'm going to close it out with their single Birds, right here on the YetiRadio.com.
Please do not feed the birds, you only make them come around here even more. Don't even look their way.
Welcome to the Backstage Lounge on the YetiRadio.com. The Yeti Radio, powered by DavidLeeImaging.com. David Lee Imaging in the Titletown Music Archive and the Live 365 app.
We can all be quiet and peaceable and have a few beers together and listen to the music.
The Yeti.
Can you dig it?
The Yeti.
Can you dig it?
The Yeti.
Can you